dudes, this is Barbie Wilde, the female Cenobite from Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, and you're listening to Tommy Throwback Kovac on Splat from the Past. Oh my god, I can't believe Tommy just farted. I'm gonna have to tear his soul apart.
Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming my third Cenobite interview from the Hellraiser series, but I will be interviewing the chatter Cenobite, Nicholas Vince. I can't wait. I'm going to have him on the show today to talk about, his origins of how he became an actor and why he left the business after he was in Clive Barker's Nightbreed after Hellraiser 1 and 2, and find out how he got back into the movies. And it's going to be pretty exciting because I'm sure it's another story of perseverance, like I always hear on this show, that I love hearing on this show. People who, got knocked down, but then they came back again, got up again, and came back slugging. So yeah, here is my interview with Nicholas Vince. Hi, Nicholas. Welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you very much. Enjoying this bright, beautiful, sunny morning we have over here.
We have midnight over here right now. It's such a great honor, sir. Thank you for taking the time this morning.
That's my pleasure. That's my pleasure.
Great. So, going back in time, did you gravitate toward acting early on?
Oh, yes. I mean, from the when I was at primary school, so when I was around about 6 or 7. I remember playing Peter Rabbit in the Enid Blyton book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with the kids' books.
Oh, yeah.
So I played Peter Rabbit, and I remember losing my cardboard ears in the watering can, Mr. McGregor's watering can, and I must literally have been about 6 years old. And I was completely and utterly bitten by the acting bug. So I was doing school plays, amateur plays, right up until I went to drama school when I was 21.
Nice. Did you ever get to play the lead in those early plays?
Well, yeah. Peter Rabbit was a lead. What else? I don't know. I didn't actually play leads. I tended to play supporting roles, and then of course I just played when I was in my teens, I was playing the juvenile male lead, and a couple of amateur productions. So one or two, definitely one or two.
Nice. And were you born in Germany?
I was, yes, physically born in Germany, because my father was in the RAF, so near Cologne. And so I was there for all of 3 months before my father had come to the end of a 3-year posting, and he came back to England. I was born in Germany.
Nice. What part of England did you live in?
So I grew up in Horsham in Sussex, which is near Gatwick Airport, because my father was head of the weather office at Gatwick Airport until he retired. And so I went to school in Horsham to begin with, and then a little bit further up the road in another school when I was at secondary school. So I was great. Basically spent most of my life that I remember in Horsham, which is a great place as a kid because there was a forest, 5 minutes walk, St. Leonard's Forest. So it was great. We used to go off on our bikes and come home when it was when we were hungry, and very much not at all like it is now for most kids. I don't think many kids get that kind of freedom that we had when we were growing up.
Yeah. Is it smoggy like London?
no. It was really country. It was really a country in the countryside. Really nice rural setting.
Nice. I was reading you attended the Mountainview Acting Academy. How long were you there for?
For 3 years, yeah. Mountview, a 3-year drama course. It's from the age of 21 to 24. So yeah, full-time acting course. It was wonderful. Had a great time.
Did you take away a lot of knowledge that you still use to this day?
Yeah, I think, because we were basic, there was the basics in voice and movement and so on. And I remember one lesson where we had to bring in a cardboard box to put over our head. We weren't allowed to write on it. We weren't allowed to change it in any way. We just had to go over our head. This is in a mime class, and we had to make a character and bring it to life, just using this cardboard box as a mask, which I think was really helpful when I came to do Chashra. Just really thinking about being a character and letting a cardboard box in that case do the work. And obviously later on when I was doing Chashra, letting that amazing makeup do the work.
Yeah, did you ever get to see many of the big name British actors like come in and like guest speak or anything like that?
No, we didn't have any big, but I do remember going to see Bent starring Ian McKellen in the theatre and going around to see him afterwards because he was very good about encouraging drama students. And I remember him telling me to tame my laughter because I had a very, anyone who really knows me, I have a very loud, powerful laugh. And Ian McKellen was the first person to say, you've got to tame that. I never have. I completely ignored that piece of advice. But he's a very, very nice man. This is very encouraging.
Yeah, I've often heard, don't listen to advice, do what you do, and you'll become successful.
I think, with that particular, to me, my laugh is just my laugh. I'm not going to try and suppress it. It does get me in trouble occasionally. But it's just what it is. Most of the time, people just really, in fact, people have actually recorded my laughter to make their ringtone. I'm not sure how long they would have kept it, but it has happened in the past.
It's a little creepy and flattering at the same time, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, how did you get to meet Clive Barker and get cast in Hellraiser?
So basically, when I was at drama school, when I was at Mountainview, Simon Bamford, who would eventually play Butterball in the Hellraiser movies, Clive saw him in a show at Mountainview, King Lear, and invited, when we graduated, Clive invited Simon to become part of Clive and the dog company, the theatre company that Clive was part of, and then Simon was working with Clive, and Simon invited me to a party where Clive was. I met Clive, and I got on really well, and he invited me to model for him. So I'm on the front covers of the books, and got bits of me on my face, and on the books of blood, Clive's books of short stories. Clive illustrated the second editions of the covers of the books of blood, and certainly on the first one you can recognise me. There's a knife sticking in the top of my head while I'm holding up a photograph of Clive. On the front cover of volume 1, and then there's a volume 4. Yeah, I know, recognise the parts of me on the back. And so I was modelling for Clive for about 2-3 years, and then he just suddenly said one day,
Wow. And did you read the book first?
I don't. I'm not sure that I did, because it was published. It was published as part of an anthology. And I don't think I did. I think it would have been around about the same time. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to have lines, so and it was kind of interesting when I did read it. But honestly, it's so long ago, I can't remember the order of these things now.
Yeah. What was your initial reaction when you found out that you had to wear all that makeup?
Well, yeah, I mean, the line I've always said is that Clive told me that there was some makeup involved when he offered me the part. I got a bit excited because, I mean, I really didn't know what was involved, and I think when Clive offered me the part, no one had really understood how restrictive it was going to be. It was only when I saw the makeup itself, it was very clear that there were no eyes. And I think they talked about one stage about using gauze, painted gauze, so I'd be able to see through the painted gauze. And in fact, just ended up with a pinhole next to my left eye, so I could see the floor when I was walking. But that was it. That was literally all I could see. So it was interesting. I mean, as it comes back to that, making the cardboard come to life. You work with the restrictions that you're dealt with, and that becomes part of the performance.
Yeah. How long did it take for the makeup to be applied?
Well, it was actually really very straightforward, because it was probably about half an hour. It was an hour into makeup and costume. That was what we allowed, but I think it probably took about 40, 45 minutes in total. Because it was very simple. It wasn't stuck to my face. It was unlike a female Cenobite and Pinhead, who had pieces that were physically stuck to their skin. It was a mask. So they put on the teeth, and then they put the mask on the and that, it was very straightforward. So not too long. It was just the fact that I couldn't really hear or see whilst I was wearing it. That was the real challenge of that process.
Yeah. How about eating at lunchtime?
I didn't eat a great deal when we were filming, because it was going to the lavatory when I was in the full makeup and costume was a real challenge anyway. So they did, they gave me water. They didn't let me dehydrate or anything.
Oh yeah.
I didn't need to eat in the evening. I didn't have the mask on all the time. There were a couple of days where I was wearing it, the full get out. And I think I wore it for about 8 hours at a stretch. But yeah, I mean, I physically couldn't eat whilst I was wearing it. So yeah, the joys of filmmaking. The joys of filmmaking.
Yeah, I think Simon told me that he was drinking out of a straw, the whole time and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you catch a? Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah. As I said, because it was so difficult to go to the lavatory, and I just try and keep it to a minimum.
Yeah.
You just have to be conscious of those things.
Yeah.
But most days were fine, and they kind of put me into the costume, but they didn't put the makeup on, because it was, as I say, it took about half an hour to get the makeup on, fixed, and so on. So they knew they had me mostly ready to go, but I could wander around without the mask on.
Mm-hmm. Did you catch any kind of allergic reaction to the makeup or anything?
No, not at all. No, I was lucky. I didn't have anything like that.
Some people do. I know Robert Englund did one of the first times he played Freddy. His face would get all red after the makeup was off and all that.
Yeah. I mean, Barbie Wiles, who played the female Cenobite in Hellbound, the second film, said that it's a bit like, if you have the makeup stuck to your skin, then there is a sense of oxygen deprivation. It's a bit like Goldfinger when she's painted. So you will get some redness afterwards.
Yeah.
But even when I was doing Nightbreed, when the makeup was stuck to my face, no, I didn't really suffer. I was lucky.
Yeah, that's good. Did you at all have a feeling that that these movies were going to be special and they were going to create the fan base that they've had?
No, I mean, we knew it was going to be special. It was, I think, two things. Clive had already published the books of Blood. Stephen King had already given him the quote, I've seen the future of horror. His name is Clive Barker. So it was, that was, we knew that much. But I don't think one could possibly have the sense, that I think that over 30 years later I'd still be talking about it. No, I had no idea at all. This was just my first movie. I was just very excited to be part of this movie and find out about making movies and working with Clive and all the other people and all the guys at Image Animation, all the fantastic makeup artists, not only Robin Legend, the director of photography, all amazing, talented people that were involved in that movie. Meeting Andrew Robinson playing it. It was an amazing crew, and Ashley Lawrence, of course. It really was an amazing crew.
Mm-hmm. Was Ashley Lawrence great to work with?
Yeah, she was great. I put her through a lot. Putting my fingers in her mouth and so on. So, spoilers. Yeah, she was great. She was really lovely. And still a really good friend.
Yeah, I met her at a convention recently. She was very nice.
Yeah, she's a great lady.
How about working with Doug?
Oh, yeah, it's fun. Anyway, Doug has got a very dry sense of humour, but he's very funny. And, I mean, I talked about being told to tame my laugh, like Ian McKellen earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I did get told off by the sound guy for laughing too much and ruining takes. And I wasn't even on set at the time. We were in a very small studio, a place called the Production Village. It was tiny. Studio in comparison to places like Pinewood in Australia and so on. And my laughter is as it carries. And I was having so much fun. So yeah, Doug's a very funny man. Very man.
Yeah, speaking of laughing, on the second one, did Barbie make everyone laugh out loud all day?
Yeah, she's very funny today. I think we all, by the time we came to the second one, the family was really established, because particularly the Image Animation guys who were responsible for the makeups on Hellraiser, Hellbound, and Nightbreed. We'd all been working together, so we worked together in total for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, some really good friendships have been forged. And then Barbie joined us for the second movie. She's, again, another very funny lady.
Yeah.
Interesting lady. Lots of stories.
Yeah, I love having her on. And but last month I had her record a couple plugs for my show, and I keep listening to them over and over again. They're so damn funny. Just
yeah, that figures.
Yeah, she's great. Barbie is great. And Simon too. He's a great guy.
Yeah, no, I've been very lucky. I mean, I think that was one of the remarkable things about Hellraiser was that Clive wanted his friends, because he'd worked with Doug for many years. He'd known Doug since Doug was 15 years old, and worked with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I noticed.
Okay.
I was going to say, I noticed Claire Higgins doesn't do a whole lot of reunions with you guys. Do you know why that is?
No, I don't. I presume because she's usually very busy acting.
Mm-hmm.
She has done them in the I'm assuming she's just very busy.
That's good. At least she's not distancing herself from you guys, like some
No,
people would.
No, not at all. No, not at all. She's definitely a great lady, a wonderful lady to work with, and had some really interesting conversations with Claire.
Were you reluctant to do Hellbound?
I was reluctant to do it if I had to wear the mask without eyes in it, which is one of the reasons why Chatterer gained eyes, the second one. But no, I was really excited. As long as I could sort it, I had thought they'd again, looking through Gauze, they'd be more or less the same makeup, but they'd work out a way that I could actually see more. But the road said that eventually decided that the only real way was to reveal the eyes that I could see. And then, of course, I spent most of my time in the original makeup anyway. It turned out it was only one scene where, well, no, that's not true. No, that isn't true. Because they did write and film some scenes of me running down corridors chasing Ashley and Imogen. Imogen Borman, who played the girl in Hellbound. But they didn't use it. They didn't use those scenes, but they were filmed.
How was working with Andy Robinson?
Working with Andrew Robinson. Well, of course, I had a couple of scenes with him, and I didn't really get to know. It's only in the last few years through doing conventions with Andrew that I got to know him. And he's become a really good friend. He's just such an intelligent, interesting man, a brilliant actor. And he's taught acting for many years. Retired recently from doing that, and is still working as an actor. Just a fascinating man, absolutely fascinating man.
Yeah, he's a great actor. I mean, everybody remembers him as the Scorpio Killer in Dirty Harry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, heck, a lot of people don't know he played Liberace in a TV movie of the week back in the late 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he did.
I can imagine doing that. Yeah.
He did a really good job. I thought that he should have gotten an Emmy nomination for that.
Wow. Yeah. No, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. He's just so professional and so flexible. His Star Trek stuff and so on, and he writes as well. Really interesting guy.
How was making Nightbreed?
It was more fun in terms of the fact that I could hear, speak, and see. I really liked that. But it was a tougher challenge of the fact that it was a 5-hour makeup process. So the car used to arrive at 3 o'clock in the morning to get into the makeup chair at 4 to be on set at 9 o'clock in the morning. But having said that, all I had to do was sit in the chair and be still. The makeup artists, there I had 2 of them working on Nightbreed, on Kinski. They were on their feet all the time. They had to get themselves to the studio. They had to make sure that I was absolutely camera ready. I literally just had to not fall asleep and just stay awake so I could stay still so they could put the makeup on me. So I think they had a far bigger challenge than I did. Again, what I was saying with Chatterer, you let the makeup do the work. These looks are so amazing. So I think, kudos really should go to them. In fact, 2 guys who worked with me, one of them's gone on to win a couple of Oscars for his makeup work, and the other one is responsible for the makeup on the Doctor Who series. The recent Doctor Who series.
Yeah.
Amazingly talented man.
I think Nightbreed is an underrated masterpiece of Clive's.
Yeah, I know. I'm really like Arrow in the UK. Arrow Video have literally just in the last couple of weeks released that's got both the theatrical and the director's cut on it. And I've recorded some more DVD extras for them.
Cool.
So I think that's basically they took the screening version that was done in the USA, ported it across the UK, and added some more extras, including me. So yeah, it's great to see it. Really, it's great to see it done so well. And it was fun recording the DVD extra as well. Blu-ray, in fact.
Oh, cool. Is that coming out next year for the 30th?
No, it's already out. It's already out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's already available in the UK. Yeah, I don't know what's going to be happening for the 30th next year. But hopefully there'll be some sorts of celebrations.
Is Clive as good as a director as he is a writer?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, just look at Hellraiser.
Oh, yeah.
The director's getting Nightbreed. Yeah, I think because he worked in theatre for so long, and he worked with the dog company, as I mentioned. He really knows how to get the best out of actors. He has a huge respect for actors, and so yeah, he's wonderful to work with. Absolutely amazing to work with.
Yeah, he's in that tradition of guys like him and Stuart Gordon, who did the H.P. Lovecraft movies, Reanimator and From Beyond. You know, they both started out, you know, in the theater, and then when they got to film, you know, they applied all that, you know, all the theater techniques to film, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, some people didn't know that could be done with horror films, but it can be.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and again, what I think it's so great and why Hellraiser lasts so well is because it's all practical effects. Apart from the deaths at the very end, but it's all practical makeup, and I think that makes it easier for both the actor who's playing the creature or the monster and the people who are on set with them. Because, as I say, with Chatterer particularly, you've got the physicality of my performance was dictated by the restrictions of makeup and the costume. But also, for Ashley and Robinson and Claire, everyone else, they're looking at the monster. They're not looking at a guy dressed in the green suit with ping pong balls stuck to him. They're really physically looking at the monster who they're having to deal with. And I think that helps. That really does. And Clive spoke about this recently, when you're directing, and I think from the director's perspective as well, you can see the whole thing. You don't have to wait until months later to see what the monster is going to look like. It's there physically in front of you. It brings an immediacy to the performance. That isn't to say that there aren't great CGI performances going on, because there are, obviously. Wonderful, and actors adapt. I just think it's easier.
Yeah. So after Nightbreed, did you have trouble getting movie roles, or did you just decide you weren't going to do movies anymore for a while?
Yeah, I mean, I Clive had moved to the States, and also I remember being on the red carpet for Nightbreed and thinking, this is what I've worked towards, this is great. And it was difficult to get movie roles, and also by that stage I'd become very interested in writing anyway. So I ended up by writing comics for Marvel. So that kind of why. But I kind of felt definitely at that stage that I was far more interested in writing than acting.
But there was no guys in horror in America who were like, get me that guy. He was great in Hellraiser and Nightbreed.
No, because you've got a lot of actors in America. You've got, we filmed all these things in England, and really Clive was the only person who was, there were other productions, obviously, and there was Doctor Who, but Doctor Who was winding down in those days. I did apply for parts in Doctor Who and so on, but the cars just didn't. Cars, as is often the way in an acting career. So yeah, I just concentrated on writing comics for Marvel, Hellraiser and Nightbreed comics.
Oh yeah, tell me about writing for Marvel.
Oh, it was fun. It was a really interesting process. And again, got to meet some incredibly talented artists like Liam Sharp, Mark Buckingham, John Bolton. Funny enough, ended up by modelling again for Dave McKean, John Bolton. So again, both kind of sides of the artistic canvas in that respect. It was a really interesting experience. I love the fact that there is the Marvel method, and you get to play with all these amazing characters. Like I got to write Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange in one of my comics.
Yeah.
Wolverine in the first issue of Warheads, only for a few pages. But yeah, no, and again, it's just working with some amazingly talented and interesting.
Yeah, Doctor Strange. Oh my God, I reached out to the guy who played Doctor Strange in the 1978 TV pilot that didn't sell, and haven't heard back from him yet. But that'd be really cool if I get to talk to the first Doctor Strange.
Wow, yeah, I'd not realized that there was such a thing.
Yeah, it was. There was a pilot that was on CBS in America, 1978, with the actor's name was Peter Hooton, who was a prolific TV actor in the 70s, and Jessica Walter, she played the villainess in that pilot.
Oh wow, oh that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah. But you've come back in recent years. I mean, did the convention scene basically get you back into acting?
No, I mean, what happened was I went into writing comics, and then that folded, and it was like, I'm in debt. I need to get a real job, and I ended up in computers up until 2012 when I was made redundant. And then it was like, okay, well, I've been wanting to go back to writing and acting. I was definitely wanting to go back to writing, and that's kind of what I did. And then people just kind of met people through going to Fright Fest. It was a big 5-day horror film convention.
Mm-hmm.
I met some young directors, and they asked me to be part of, to be in their movies, and also I was doing a YouTube show back then, Chattering with Nicholas Flint, where I was interviewing people as well. And I kind of like, I'd like to go back to doing acting, and then some directors gave me some opportunities, and then I went back to drama school, went back to the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama for a term, evening classes 3 nights a week, just to remind myself what it was all about.
Yeah.
And I've been very lucky. I've worked on some great films, some great independent horror films like Hollow from Micah and YCHF Productions, and
The Black Gloves.
Yeah, the Black Gloves. Yeah, with Hex Media and for We Are Many for Hex Media.
Book of Monsters.
Book of Monsters. Thank you. You've got your list in front of me early in the morning, as far as I'm concerned. I knew my brain was going to fizzle out at some point. It was. I've been very lucky. Really proud and pleased with the reaction of those films.
Is it a much better time for movie acting, you think?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, people are acting. Actors are acting. Movies are being made. Personally, I'm getting some really interesting roles. Being offered some very interesting projects as well. So and again, working with some really young, interesting filmmakers. Not just writers and directors, but again, makeup artists, filmmakers. And there's is a film called Heckle, which is going to be released in January of next year, which features Steve Guttenberg. So I got to meet Steve Guttenberg.
Oh, nice.
So again, yeah, awesome. It's really awesome. So I'm looking forward to seeing that when it's finally finished.
Oh, cool. Do you have any other upcoming movies or convention appearances you want to plug?
There is one coming up in a weekend after next, but I'm not sure it's actually been announced yet. So I think just people should keep an eye on my website if you want to know what. Well, I'm working on putting together further performances of a one-man show called I Am Monsters, which I did performed in October, which opened the London Horror Festival as a stage show, which is about my life, which is about making Hellraiser and Nightbreed and so on, but also my fascination with monsters since I was a kid. And then what it is to be a monster and how I face monsters in my life. In reality, and how I've dealt with it, and how all these things help me deal with them. With a real life monster, I had to deal with one. So, the best thing to do is just to go to my website and sign up for it.
Nice. Well, I hope they eventually book you guys here in California, because 2 years ago you guys were booked to be at the Famous Monsters convention in San Jose, and then the fires happened.
I know. How is it over there? I know you've still got some fires going on.
Yeah, in LA, there's some major fires going on over there. Over here in my area in Redding, we had a major fire in summer of last year that was really scary. I had to evacuate. It was pretty bad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was watching a documentary on Paradise the other evening. Just terrible, absolutely terrible. So hopefully everyone's safe over there.
Yeah. And I hope, like I said, I hope that you guys get booked here and stuff, because I was so looking forward to going to that convention, and that was going to be, George Romero ended up passing away a few months before that, but I was looking forward to meeting him as well, and so many other people, and that was just terrible.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. I mean, you never know. I know, these things take a time. So we just have to cross our fingers and wait and see. Yes. I'd love to go there. I love California.
Yes, indeed. Well, Nicholas, I thank you so much for coming on this morning.
It's my pleasure, Tommy. Thank you very much indeed for inviting.
Oh, my pleasure, sir. And I will tag you in this, and I'll keep an eye out for any projects and convention appearances you have coming up in the future.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much indeed.
And you have yourself a great day.
Thank you very much. Okay, for breakfast now.
Yeah.
Okay, take care, Tommy.
Okay, cheers. Take care, Nicholas. Bye-bye. Cheers. Bye. Well, there you have it. Nicholas Vince. Ain't he a cool dude? Nice guy. Great stories. Also humble, too. Just like everyone from the Hellraiser franchise. They're really good people. They're not Hellraisers like you'd think they are. Or you think they were because of those movies. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.